Wow. Oh, sorry about that. There was no sound. Sorry, I was not aware of that. Sorry, I believe everyone can hear me loud. I believe everyone can hear me loud now. I believe everyone can hear me now. Please, can you hear me? Please, if you can hear me, kindly signify on the chat box that you can hear me now. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. It was from my end. So now, in talking about this token, sorry. So all along, you guys have not been hearing me all along. Okay, in talking about now, this is actually their you can actually go to their website to actually get more updates about what the project is actually real about and all. So let me just go back to actually look at what I've talked about since all along you guys have not been listening or not able to hear me and all that. Now, looking at this token, looking at where is it currently, looking at the market of where is it currently now, the highest this token has actually gotten to was around it has actually counts it was around 0.002. That was the highest this price has actually gotten to, and now the lowest it has actually gotten to, in which we have here, it has actually gotten to 1.6 and that. And I do tell you guys that most of these tokens that we have here, it has to do with supply and demand. It has to do with the rate of in which we have buyers and buying and selling in the crypto market, which is one important factors that we need to take note of when looking at the crypto space, when looking at the crypto market and all that. So apart from this point that I'm actually talking about, you have to understand what is the project really all about when looking at it. What is the utility behind the project when looking at it and all that. All those factors are actually very, very important that we need to take note of. Thank you. So all those factors are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at this project, what they're actually really all about and other. Now, in checking, in getting more analysis about what this project is all about. Now, I said earlier that it's actually great. Is what they're actually trying to do is actually going to move from the web, trying to move from just the Web 2 games or the traditional gaming industry, trying to combine the traditional gaming industry and also the Web 3 gaming industry. Now you need that's why I told you guys that you need to understand what is the traditional gaming industry, what are they currently doing, and looking at the normal gaming industry, what are they doing? So you have to combine the two. You have to check these two to actually know, okay, this is the right way I can actually go into the market to invest. This is the right way to actually invest into the market. So if you don't understand what the Web 3 games is actually doing, if you, now it's trying to make, okay, for example, now you list me, for example, me myself, I'm not into the game. I'm a traditional. I mean, just in the traditional gaming industry. I just have, I maybe I play soccer or I play web. I play maybe different kind of games that we have, that we have dragon, different kind of games that we have for traditional gamers, for example. Now I want to go into the Web 3, so that they're trying to create a platform that makes it easier for you to be able to go into the Web 3 platform more easier and conveniently. That's what they're trying to do when looking at them and all that. I believe you guys got that point in which I'm actually dishing out to you guys and all that. Now, the one point that we need to take note of when looking at them, one point that is very, very important. Let's move ahead to trading view to actually get more analysis. Let's draw more analysis about what the project is actually really all about. Let's go to trading view. Now, this is trading view currently. You can see what is currently happening. Now, looking at the market currently, let's draw a line. Let's draw a line. So all this is actually very important. Just trying to get a very nice structure when looking at the market. So now looking at this area here, looking at the all-time low that we have here now, that's actually got into this area. looking at this area in which has actually got into. Now you can see this movement that we have here. You can see this area in which we've gotten here, and now it's currently ranging at this place. Now it's moving up here. It's kind of we have a we can see this area here in which it came down here, and we see the move that we have here. So now, is it going to break this area? Now, what is the next move of this market that we can, based on this that we have here, what is the next move when looking at it? So you can actually tell me, what do you feel that is the next move when looking at the market? And so when looking at what the market is actually doing now, what is your own prediction of the next move that we have here? Now, looking at this area, you can see this massive push that we had there. It came down, it touched this line. You can see this move. I'm just trying to pinpoint the area in which we had a movement and all that. Now you can see it came from this area again. We had a push down. It came from this area again. You can see this move. That a push down. Sorry, not this. We had a push down here. It came up here. It came down here. It broke this line that we have here. It came up here. It broke this line, so we can't actually use this line here. We have to, because it has actually broken the structure here that we have here, and it came down here. It came up here, and right now it's coming down around this. It's actually coming down around this area to come here again. I'm just trying to possible structure of how the market is likely going to go. Now we have it here. It comes down here again. We have this movement here. Then we have a move. We have a push around this area, getting it's breaking this line, the structure that we have here. Then if it's breaking structure, it's likely still going to come down a little bit. Have a movement here. Have movement here. And so you need to actually understand the way the market is going. You need to understand, okay, how is the market currently going? What are the different positioning that you need to take note of when looking at the market and other. So if you understand the different positioning of the crypto market, it gives you easy access on when you're trying to say, okay, I want to go into the market. This is how I want to go into the market. This is what the market is currently saying and all that. So it gives you a different idea of what's currently happening in the market and other. So all these actually different statics or idea or ways that you need to actually take note of before going into the market, before say that, okay, I want to go into the market, this is how I want to go into the market and other. It gives you area that you can actually use in going into the crypto market when looking at it on the real sense. I believe guys actually getting what I'm actually dishing out to you guys in the course of today's interesting conversation. And right now the market is actually really going very well right now, because we currently see the range in which Bitcoin has been moving, and which is actually a good sign in the crypto market when looking at the Bitcoin market, looking at how Bitcoin has actually been moving. It moved yesterday, and I told someone yesterday. I was actually telling a friend yesterday that we are currently going to see a massive push in the market. That even though all this has actually been happening in the market, it's going to be the last when looking at it and all that. It's actually going to be the last. Now, I told the guy that I've actually seen the last dip. Now we're actually getting to see the last dip in the market, and when we see that last dip in the market, we're actually seeing the market is going to come back to its normal self. Now we're going to see a push in the market and all that, and this lot of that we've been seeing, this lot of consideration that we've been seeing in the market and all that is actually enough. It's actually enough when looking at the market and what has actually been happening in the market so far. So all these points are actually very, very important. All these point are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market. What is the market really about? What is the market doing so far when looking at it on the real sense, and all those factors are actually very, very important that we need to actually take note. So looking at this area here, looking at where it started from, you can see where the market started from and how the market has actually been moving and other, which is a good sign that, okay, yeah, it's actually a good sign that, okay, that we have an idea of what is currently that is currently happening in the market, and we're going to see a very strong move when looking at the market. And so when looking at, okay, this area we can actually go into the market at this area. This is what we should do when going to the market and all that. So all these points are actually very, very important that we need to actually take note of when looking at the crypto market, what is currently happening and all that. So let's get back to the market. Let's get back to the market to see more analysis and what is currently going on in the market. Let's get back to the market. Please, I believe everyone is listening to me. Please, if you're here to follow my profile, we're also live on YouTube, in which I'll also be dropping my YouTube link so that you can actually go there and also follow me up, and also comment if you have any question. You can kindly ask on the chat box, in which justice is going to be. So this is actually the white paper. Now you have to understand that any project that some project do come on board, and you can't actually know their white paper, what is their white paper, what they're actually doing and all that. Now you can see this. Now you can see now this company is actually aimed to actually have a massive adoption. Now what is in storytelling, collective beats, community, Interpol games and all that. That is what they're actually trying to do. And also it's actually trying to have any form of cryptocurrency, trying to trade looking at NFT on its own side and all that. That's what they're trying to do. But that is not our focus. Let's go into the tokenomics of the project. What is the tokenomics of the project when looking at it? Let's go into it. And you can see based on this tokenomics of this project, you can see that it's built on the ERC 20 network. That's where the project is being built on, and also it has a total supply of 2.2 trillion token and circulating supply of 1.85 when looking at it. Can everyone see it? Okay, 1.285 when looking at it, and also which is actually a good sign when looking at the market. All these actually goods are actually important when looking at the market, and are looking at the total supply, looking at how many is currently in circulation and all that. Now also this have 87.07% of the supply in circulation among existing orders when looking at it on the real sense and order. So you can see now 100% of this is 100% of this token are actually minted, and there is no unvesting and diluted event in the future of the token when looking at the future token and what they've actually been doing so far when looking at it on the real. Also, we're going to be checking the utility. What is the utility behind this token? Like what I mean by utility, I'm actually talking about the use cases. What is the use cases behind the project and other? All these factors are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the project, when looking at what the project is actually really all about. Now you can see it here. You can see circulating supplies. We can see it is circulating supply. We have 78%. 78 is actually it's already in circulation when looking at it. It's actually an ERC2 token and all that. Now you can see 78%. So it's 84% is already currently in circulation and all that. You can see on exchange. You can see 4% is actually on 4 exchanges. You can see advisory. We have 2 treasury wallets, we have 5 game economic we have 5 and other. So this is actually the way it's been distributed when looking at it on the research. So all these points are actually very, very important when looking at the project and other. Now what is their utility? Now in-game purchase, we have exclusive tournaments. They also have on-chain governance. So these ways are actually the ways in which they generate their income to actually generate funds to actually run the ecosystem. And so now you have to understand, okay, what are they actually doing? What are they actually now? Even if they're actually doing something, if they have a utility, can this utility sustain them for a period of time? And that you need to understand that factor. Is the utility, is it actually going to sustain them for the particular period of time that they're actually going to the market to invest and order? That is why we have here. The defense is actually accepting the token to for a minimum 5% of primary sale. Now, if player choose to use the gaming token, which as a means of payment, they can do so directly. Alternatively, they prefer to use cryptocurrency or flat. Now, the gaming will actually take 5% of the primary sale among the and also automatically convert the token to the open on the open market when looking at it on the recent. If you can actually get it on gates, i.e. when looking at the game and other. So we have in-game purchase and other. We also have exclusive tournament. Now this exclusive tournament we actually will soon be introduced to allow holders for exclusive tournament, which is actually an open, which will be open only for holders who actually has the tokens. Actually, this tournament is actually going to be for people who actually has the token, and this tournament will actually offer prizes in their token and other cryptocurrency or even flat to the winners when looking at it on the racing. So all these points are actually important factors that we need to consider, we need to take note of when looking at this token, when looking at what the token is actually real about, what are they building for that particular period that we're actually talking about. So you need to understand what the project is actually building, what they're actually really all about, and all that. And also we have on-chain governance. See, and that is why we have the game uses an on-chain governance system that enable token holders to vote on certain aspects of the game, making the voting completely decentralized and transparent. Now, the reason why they have this kind of voting we all know what blockchain is all about: decentralization, transparency, security. Now, if they will actually have a voting system that actually completely make it a form of decentralized and transparent, that anyone can actually go on board to actually vote, another, it gives an edge, it gives a kind of an image to the project on what the project is actually doing, another, which is one important factor that is actually very very important that we should take note of when looking at the project, when looking at what the project is actually really about, what are the different factors that we need to take note of when looking at the project. And so all these points are actually very very important that we need to take note of when looking at the project, when the project, what are they actually doing, what are the different factors that we need to take note of when looking at the project and all that. It is very very important that we take note of all this. This is very very important that we take note of all those points when looking at the project and all that. Now, one point you need to know that the token holders can vote in a new game, in an in-game development. A coming together of an in-game, or trying to bring together in-game item, map, gaming mechanisms and all that, like in-game music and all that. We also have radio, among other things. They can actually token holders can actually make a vote about, okay, which one should we bring on board, which one should not actually come on board, which is one important factor that we need to know when talking. So if I'm actually looking at holding this token, or actually I'm getting in touch with this token, Gate.io is actually the best platform they can currently go into to actually get this token on board. Now, holding more of this token gives player more voting power in the governance system, allowing the complete or the community to actively engage in the ecosystem and impact the direction of the gaming and the company. So now the more token you hold, the one point you have to know, the more token you hold, the more you tend to vote, the more voting power you have when looking at the industry and other. So if you have for example, if you have, let me just say that if you have like maybe 40% of the token or thereabout, or you have 50% of the token, so you have more voting power when looking at the token or when looking at the ecosystem and the impact. You actually have impact in the direction of the gaming industry when looking at, which is one important factor we must all consider when talking about the token and other. Also, the governance features actually allows the token holders to vote on the selection of active musician to be featured in the gaming industry, and which is also a very important factor that we need to take note of when looking at the gaming industry, when looking at what the gaming industry is actually really about. So it's actually an open this that actually ensures community has a say in the development of the game, promoting the growth of the gaming of the game when looking at. So anything that has to do with promotion of the gaming industry, trying to ensure that, okay, this is actually positioned in the right direction when looking at the gaming industry, and that it's a very very important factor that we must all consider, we must all take note of when looking at the game. Now, looking at our game website currently, looking at the game, this is actually the gaming website, and Battle for has begun. Now, this is actually the game. You can actually join the whitelist when looking at it. You can actually currently go on Play Store and also on Apple Store to actually download the game. When looking at this, you can see Immutable is actually coming soon, and Non-Stop is actually coming soon. Now, for the team from the team has actually experienced. You can see Call of Duty. Now, we all know Call of Duty. Now, remember what I'm trying to talk about now, trying to bring about the traditional gaming industry into the Web3 gaming industry. You can see Call of Duty, we have Apex Legends, we have Battlefield, we have Free Fire, we have mobile, FIFA Mobile. I mentioned that. We have a lot of them. We have Fighting Club. So I'm trying to bring together, people that actually have experience in the gaming industry, looking at the gaming industry coming together with using and also the Web3 industry coming together to actually create something unique when looking at it and all that. So you can actually see it here. You can see it here now. Defend Your Tower in the year 2022 and other. You can see it here and other. You can see different form of games. This is actually different form of games that they are actually building different ways that you can actually participate in all these games when you can. So all these points are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the games, looking at what they're actually really all about, how we can actually go about it, and that is very, very important that we take note of them. And also they have their social media that you can actually go into their social media to check for activities going on their social media, what is currently happening in their social media, what are the different factors that we need to take note of when looking at the project itself as it's building. Now, I do tell you guys that you need to understand what the project actually looking at. You need to understand what they're actually building, in which we've actually talked about. You can see what they're actually building. How long will they sustain? Now, with all this they're actually building, is it going to sustain them for a long period of time? For what location of time is it actually going to sustain them? That is another point that we must all consider when looking at it. So all these factors, all these points are actually very, very important that we must all take note of when looking at project like this. When trying to talk about what they're actually really all about, what are the different factors that we need to take note of when looking at them, how we can actually go about them, and all these factors are actually very, very important, that we need to take note of when looking at them. Now let's go ahead to talk more. Let's talk more about this. Let's get more analysis about what this project is actually. Let's go back to our trading view to actually get more analysis about what this project is actually really all about. Now, looking at it here on trading view, we are back here on trading view. You can see it. You can see the market here. You can see how the market has actually been here. This is actually the channel. This is actually this structure in which you can see here -2. You can see here +2, and all this actually the channel breakout strategy in which you can have it. We have it here on trading view. Actually give you direction of how the market is actually moving. What you need to know about the market and all that. What is the next line of action when looking at it when looking at the market and the you can actually see it came on board around this. It actually came on board on Gate.io around July 19. July. I'm right. That was last month on the 19th of last month, and you can see it came on board around looking at the price tag of when it came on board. Now, all these factors I'm showing you guys are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the project, when looking at what they actually do. Now, it came to this area in which you have it, and looking at it, has it broken this area? You can see this, it has actually not broken the all-time high that we have here in the market space. And looking at here, looking at the lowest it has actually gotten. Now, this is actually the lowest. This is actually, now before, where was the lowest it has actually gotten to? It broke the structure in which you have, you can see it here. It's actually broke the structure in which we had here. You can see it broke the structure in which we had here. Look at the week. It broke it a little and we had a push. It broke it a little and we had a push in the market. And even though looking at this, looking at this here, looking at this area here, you can see it broke the structure here. You can see it hasn't moved here, it moved here, and you can see it's here and all that. So it's like it's still going to touch this area here, come down and all that. You can see it here. We can see this one here, we have seen here, and now it came down, it broke the structure and all that. So is it like it's still going to come down to touch this area, or is it still going to come down to move to this area before we still see another move in the market? So you need to understand what has been in play in the market so far. What is the price prediction of what has been in play so far? It gives you direction, it gives you kind of say, okay, yeah, this is where the market is going to, this is where the market has actually been so far, this is what you need to know about the market, and that all these factors are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market, when looking at what the market is actually really all about, what you need to take note of when looking at the market, and that is very, very important that we need to take note and order. So now, apart from all this point that we're actually talking about, what other features do we need? What other points do we need to analyze when looking at this token and order? So now, is it a good buy? Now, with what I've actually seen, looking at where it started from, looking at the height inch actually got into, it's actually a good time to actually invest, to actually go into the market. Now, I told you guys, was it yesterday? I told you guys or thereabout. I told you now is the right time for you to start gathering your portfolio and try to say that, okay, I want to go back into the market and order. If you've been out of the market for some while right now is the time for you to start going back into the market, because we start seeing some move in the crypto market, because the market, looking at Bitcoin market. Let's check Bitcoin. Let's see what is currently going on with Bitcoin. And also, you need to understand, okay, this is what is currently going on in the market. This is how I can actually make advantage of the market when looking at it on the real. So if you know what what has actually been happening in the market, it gives you direction. Okay, this is how, like, you can see Bitcoin price. Let me use, there was one I drew before. I don't know, is it still available? Oh, it just clear off. It's not here anymore. I can't actually find it anymore. Actually find it anymore. So as a that, you can see this move in which we added all this line that was line I drew before. You can see this move in which we add here. It's added a lot of ranging over here, and it's pushed. It has gotten to 30,000 and all that. It has actually pushed to 30,000 when looking at the market and all that. Now you can see it actually pushed to 30,000, and we can see the move that we have. You can see the move that we have in the market and what is currently happening in the market and other. Now you can see now the altcoin, now which altcoin season is starting now. Buy altcoin is actually very important. So the altcoin season is actually around the corner in which the market, you can see a massive push in the market. And so if you're looking into investing in any token and other, now is the right time for you to actually start keying into the market, to actually start investing when looking at the market. So what is actually happening in the market, what are the different information that you need to take note of when looking at the market itself. No, looking at this, I still feel the market will calm down. We will see some display here. And it's all about the supply in the market, the buying and selling in the market, and all these factors are actually very, very important that we need to actually take note of when looking at the market itself. What is currently happening in the market? What is the range? What is the weight or the supply and demand in the market when looking at it? So let's get a more view of it. Now, looking at this area here, you can see this area here in which you have here input in depth. Now you can see the range. You can see the range. Now the range of the buying or the range of buying is actually 9%, while the range of the selling here is actually minus 22%. So more people now. What can we actually figure here? More people are actually selling than people that are actually buying. That is why we have the index. That's why we have the range of selling here. That's why we have it more than the range of buying, which the range of the buying is around 8.9%, which is actually a good sign when looking at the market. And so all these points are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market, what is currently going. And you can see the movement of the market. I told you guys earlier, looking at where the market started from and where it's actually going to another. We need to all understand what is currently happening in the market, what are the different factors we need to consider when looking at the market. And apart from all those points, what other information do we need to take note of when looking at the market? And you can see this movement that we have here. You can see this push image at the image, it got to 2, and right now it's back to 1.6 and thereabout. Now, are we still going to see this retracement still moving forward? Image I've actually showed you guys on trading view. I told you guys that, okay, that we are likely still going to see push in the market as we keep moving forward, actually, because the season of altcoin actually coming to an end, is actually coming on board, in which you can actually start keying into the market to actually start investing. If you're looking for any crypto that you want to actually invest, now is the right time for you to actually look into the market to start investing and going into the market. And so all these points are actually very, very important. All these points we're actually talking about are actually very, very important that we all need to take note of when looking at the crypto crypto market, when looking at what the market is actually saying, what are the different positioning, how can you actually position yourself when looking at the market itself. So you need to have a way of actually positioning yourself to get it right when looking at the market and all that. Is very, very important that we take note of all this. All these points are actually very, very important that we need to actually take note of when looking at the market, what is currently going on in the market, what are the various factors we need to consider when looking at the market himself. And that is why you can see from this area here, you can see the movement of the market from this area here. You can see how the market has actually been moving from this buying and selling. Now, what is the weight of the buying and selling? You need to consider that factor again. Now, what is the weight of the buying and selling? Is the buying and selling, what is the weight? What is the percentage and order? Now, you can see this below area in which you have here. Oh, good morning, welcome. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Thanks for joining us live in today's session. Thanks for joining us live in today's interesting section. So, welcome. So, all these points are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at this conversation. What are they really all about? What are the different factors that we need to consider when looking at this project? And all these factors are actually very, very important that we need to actually take note of when looking at this project. And now, from this downward movement, from this area in which we have it, you can see the movement of the market. You can see how the market has actually been moving. Let me see if I can draw this line up. Can I draw this line up? Okay, yeah. Now you can see this movement here in which you have here. Let me put it on more viewer scale. Now you can see this movement in which you can see the range of buying and selling. You can see it's a range of buying and selling, the movement of the market. You can see the selling, more people sell more than the amount of people that buy. And then you can see all through this area here in which you can say it's buying. A lot of people were actually buying when looking at the market. And also all these points, all these areas are actually very, very important. That gives you that, it actually gives you direction on how to actually position yourself when looking at the market, and it actually gives you direction on how to actually position yourself, how to actually key into the market when looking at it and the on and order, which is a very, very important point that we need to take note of when looking at the crypto market, when looking at what is the market really all about, what are the different factors we need to consider when looking at the crypto market, and all these points are actually very, very important that we need to take note of. Now we're gradually come to an end of today's section. Thank you so much. Thanks for everyone that's actually connected live with us in today's interesting session. I believe you guys have actually gained a lot from what I've actually shared with you guys in the course of today's section, and all that. I believe you guys have actually gained a lot from what I've actually shared with you guys in the course of today's section. But live again tomorrow for another interesting conversation. We'll all come together again and learn a lot about the market space, what has been happening in the market, what are the different factors, what are the different functions of the market, what do we need to take note of when looking at the market itself, and the market when looking at it on a long run and a long-term investment. And so if you actually, I still repeat, if you're actually looking at going into the market to actually invest and all that, now is still the right time for you to actually go into the market to actually invest, and now is the right time for you to actually look into the market to actually go that. So that is all what we will be talking about in today's session. Thanks to everyone that's actually connected live with us in today's session. Thank you so much. Justice is going to be done. But in the absence of any questions, actually come to an end of today's section. Thank you so much. I can see you guys. I can see so much I can see everyone that's actually connected live with us in today's session. Thank you so much for connecting live. See you same time tomorrow for another interesting conversation.